It is Saturday, August 16th, 2025. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields. Welcome to all the new subscribers. Let's get right to it. Lots to cover. Thank you for your patience in this video. I know it's going to be a little bit long, but I want to cover everybody and the long-term prospects of this. This now is what we talked about yesterday. We would wake up to see a powerful hurricane. Right now it is a Category 4 hurricane. Winds were at 145 miles per hour sustained. So the gusts are even higher. That's about 230, 235 kilometers an hour. The center is staying to the north. I want to be very clear about that. There's going to be a lot of information out today when you see a picture like this, and there's no doubt it's high anxiety when you're dealing with a system that is this strong. It is on track from what we have been talking about day after day after day. It was supposed to strengthen, and the next thing that's going to happen with it, it's going to grow even larger. So winds right now at 145 miles per hour. You can see the broader picture, center to the north. They will grow in size, and that will make the satellite picture look even more alarming. But the track is what I'm watching out for you, and that is what is staying right on track. It will make its curve. It looks to be to the east of the Bahamas, well to the east of the southeast coast of the United States. Still, it could get close to Bermuda, hopefully just off toward the east. So I want to show you long-term what to expect with this. We'll go way out in time, even the Atlantic region of Canada. I'm not going to leave anyone hanging and just kind of put a storm out there as it moves away from the Caribbean and forget about it. I will track it from start to finish. That is my promise to you. And then back behind it, yes, there are more tropical waves. There was one that moved off a couple days ago. I was not concerned about that. But this is the new one about to move off. I do believe that is going to develop some. Here we are in the Caribbean. There is powerful Category 4 Hurricane Erin. I do believe this tropical wave will develop, and there's another one just out of this satellite range back behind it that also has the possibility of developing. So in this video, I want to show you the longer term prospects for this, but also start to show you these developing tropical waves out in the Atlantic, because it's a busy time of year. It is common to track multiple things, but I want to show you everything that is out there. So again, thank you for your patience. Here's a zoom down look now. I mentioned the center staying to the north of Antigua, Barbuda, north of Anguilla, St. Martin, St. Barts, staying to the, I can't stress that enough, center staying to the north. That is where those winds of 145 miles per hour are. We're getting the outer rain bands. Here's a close look at the radar. Here's Puerto Rico. You get over toward Anguilla, as we work our way to the British Virgin Islands, U.S. Virgin Islands, here St. Croix. This is what's going to happen today. Heaviest weather north and east, but we get the rain bands moving in. Some of us maybe nothing, but in these rain bands, we get some tropical storm-like conditions, right? So the conditions I've been talking about the last few days, that stays the same. The track staying the same. There's been no big shift from what I've been showing you. This is the most likely path that I've been showing you as I watch the models, the environment and what's going on, and this is what is just really a continuation of what I've been showing you, making its turn eventually to the east of the Bahamas, and then very close to Bermuda. We'll see kind of when it makes its turn. That'll dictate any potential impacts in Bermuda, and then scooting off to the south and east of Cape Cod, Martha's Vineyard, and Nantucket, and then it should stay just to the south and east of the Atlantic region of Canada. I'm not sure. Could actually use some rain in the Atlantic region of Canada, no doubt, but we don't need a big wind maker or anything like that. And this thing is a beast, so we wish it on nobody. Hopefully it could just stay, the center staying over water, but you can see again, just to the north of us now, major hurricane status. Turks and Caicos have taken us out of monitor mode. Know that I'm watching us. We are not in monitor mode in the Bahamas. We are in monitor mode in Bermuda for the potential of this area moving in, and we're still, of course, monitoring the tropical storm-like conditions for us in the northeastern Caribbean. This is on track from what I showed you yesterday. This is where the bulk of the action is. This is a very dangerous system, but right now it is sitting over water. We're going to deal with those outer rain bands. So specifically, what does that mean as we continue in monitor mode? And I can't thank you for your trust enough with this. I've been watching your comments. Thank you for all of that. We have been holding steady with this. Right? I don't even think I made a change in this map over the last 3 days. I'll go back and take a look. Tropical storm-like conditions in this area. That would mean if you get those bands of rain moving in, those tropical downpours. We know about that. Some gusty winds as well. We could get over 3 inches of rain, upwards of 75 plus millimeters of rain in some spots. That that could lead to some power outages, kind of impacting the power grid in a few spots. Some of the gusts on the high end in the bands of rain that work in 50 miles per hour, 80 kilometers an hour. And you see that here. Now, south of really Antigua, we're not looking at a whole lot, may get clipped by a couple showers. Again, this is not coming near St. Lucia, Dominica, no impacts, Barbados, Trinidad, St. Vincent the Grenadines, Grenada. But in this area where we get those rain bands sweeping in, we could get some of those gusts of about 50 miles per hour in Agata, back through St. Croix over toward Puerto Rico, St. Thomas, St. John. Some gusty winds at times, not all day, but at times. Anguilla, St. Martin, St. Bart's, watching over towards Statia, St. Kitts and Nevis. We'll see how some of those rain bands will be working around. Here's a look at that rain outlook. You see some of the white shading showing in really southern sections of Puerto Rico and eastern zones. That's where we could get some spots of about 4 inches of rain or 100 millimeters of rain, and watching the British and U.S. Virgin Islands for additional rain. I mentioned the rain itself could impact the power grid in some spots, plus those gusty winds in those rain bands. You see here's Montserrat over toward Antigua, Bermuda. Most of that rain, the heavier rain at times, again, it's not all day stuff, will be staying to the north, really Montserrat to the north. That's where we have a better chance of rain. Now, Bermuda, we're holding in monitor mode because I want to see it kind of when it's going to make its turn. I should know tomorrow if we're going to have to go into action mode. I value your time, your resources, of course, your lives and property. First and foremost is safety first. But as of now, still in monitor mode. Action mode definitely possible if it kind of hooks closer, because this thing is going to grow in size and be very strong. But as of now, I got you covered in Bermuda. We are in monitor mode with this, at least for one more day. Now, let's start to kind of show you the bigger picture and even what I'm watching behind it. Here is high confidence. Here we are in the Caribbean. What's going on with Erin, again, the center to the north, and you can see that the next few days. Here's that new area that I am concerned about for the potential of some development down the road. Now you can see here, this will start to really make its turn as we work our way into tomorrow night and Monday. That's when it will make its turn. I'll show you why in just a moment. So high certainty that this stays to the east of the Bahamas. Again, this is not coming to Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, still monitoring the Outer Banks, but more confidence that this should stay to the east. Here's Bermuda right here, and here's that new tropical wave that we're watching for the possibility of development, and another one back behind it. All right, let's go out in time here. Now, as we go out in time, no doubt there's more uncertainty, right, with the weather. It's hard to forecast the weather 3 days out, yet we get here into a Thursday. So there's a big spread for anywhere from Bermuda back to the east of the Outer Banks of North Carolina. So again, I'm not seeing a scenario at this point bringing this back toward the mid-Atlantic or even New England. And here's this area coming in here. So again, this is by Thursday. Now, this, as far as what happens here, I'm not quite sure yet, right? I want to see it, I don't want to see it develop at all, but I do need to see some more development out of it to kind of know how quickly that may spin up, if it will impact us in the Caribbean. But there is going to be some sort of area, at least close by, even a couple of them, as we work our way into next week and the following week. Bigger tropical waves. Know that I am watching those as well. All eyes are on Erin, but know that I'm watching this behind the scenes very carefully to see what may develop. And if anything's heading our way in the Caribbean, I'll give you that early heads up. Here we are in Newfoundland, back toward the Avalon Peninsula, and we'll see if this kind of nudges in or just continues to make its curve. Could eventually be a big wind maker down the road for Europe. You see the modeling all in high confidence. Here's Puerto Rico. It's not going to move south into Puerto Rico or anything like that. It is on track with the west-northwesterly movement. They wobble a little bit, so at times it may kind of jog around the center, but you can see the path it will take. Turks and Caicos, we're out of monitor mode. Doesn't mean we can't get some of those outer rain bands moving in. I'll show you that in just a moment. But this thing is outrunning the models. I mentioned how I don't just look at the models. I look at everything going on in the environment. You see the modeling. This is 1 day out in time, 2 days, 3 days, and you could see it approaching Category 3 status. But we know it's already a Category 4, right? It's sitting up here. Does it have a chance to become a Category 5? It really does as we go over the next 24 hours. So let me start to show you the models. The American model, European, here's the closer look, and the winds in this, and then we'll go long term. So here's the center. This is the problem. This is the high concern, but it's sitting over water. That is excellent news. That is very grateful for that, because that's where that core of winds are. But as we go into today, into tonight, those outer rain bands just kind of feed into the system. Some of us just may be breezy, getting a lot of sunshine in spots. Others watching the rain bands. Haiti and the Dominican Republic, this is not not coming in. I know, and I've seen it, some of the false information being passed around on WhatsApp. It is not coming to Haiti or the DR. It is on track. We may get some additional rain bands as we work our way deeper into Sunday. And then this system, Turks and Caicos, again, the heaviest weather looks to be to the east of the Turks and Caicos and the southern Bahamas. By Monday moving in, it doesn't mean we're not going to get kind of clipped by some of those rain bands and tropical storm-like conditions in the Turks and Caicos, but my big concern is where those winds are at 145 miles per hour, that will look to stay away. And you can see it in here. In this model is not even picking up on how strong it is now, right? You can see eventually some of those greens popping up, but this is even outrunning the chart. But the heaviest core is right in here as we go over the next 24 to 48 hours. Now, here's a bigger picture. Now, I mentioned long-term with both Erin and these new tropical waves. So let's cover that right now together. So this is the big picture with the European model. I know this map's a little bit different, but I like to use it and kind of dissect it. Here's why Erin's going to make a turn. High pressure is a blocker. That would prevent it from developing, but that's over toward the southeast U.S. Another one way the heck over here in the eastern Atlantic. So in between, it could kind of lift up in between these blockers. There's no high pressure to the north of it. There's just these fronts in here, and that will allow this area to make a turn. Again, high pressure to the north would block it, but that's not in place. In big spinning things on Earth, want to go poleward, the path of least resistance, and that's what this is going to take. This here is by the time we get into Tuesday, watching Erin and watching this new area, and keeping an eye on, of course, the islands here to monitor for any potential flooding with these stronger tropical waves moving off. Here we are in the Caribbean, and then you could see here, here's Bermuda right here, and here's this powerful system. This is why we are in monitor mode. This is Wednesday. If it would take a track like this, we would be okay in Bermuda, but if it hooks in a little bit quicker, that could bring a powerful hurricane in. It's really dependent on the timing of this front here. If this front speeds up, that could draw it into Bermuda. If it slows down a little bit, it will allow it to pass safely to the east, but still a wait and see on that scenario. And then here are those additional tropical waves. Now, let me stop it here. This is by the time we get into Friday. So this is a long time from now, but it is showing this. Here's Newfoundland and the Avalon Peninsula. We'll monitor how close this is going to get. And then here is this area sitting, kind of working its way toward the Caribbean. Now, some of the models already develop a tropical storm approaching the Caribbean. Some do not with these new tropical waves. So that's going to be a wait and see for a day or two. And I'll let you know if I do see anything coming at us, right? I'll give you that heads up. Now, here's the bigger picture, and I'll show you this. This is the American model, very similar to the European model, but it develops these tropical waves a little bit more so. But just going long term here, this is by Monday. Here we are in the Bahamas, northern central Bahamas. The swells are going to be so huge. I'll have a map on that in just a second. But here's Bermuda, very similar to the European model, taking its turn, hopefully just to the east of Bermuda and staying off toward, or rather west of Bermuda, I should say, and to the east of the United States, keeping an eye on the timing and strength of this front. This front acts like a blocker to help kind of steer it, and then we'll see how close this gets down the road to Newfoundland. But here come those new tropical waves, right? The American model and a couple of the other models do try to develop these as they just start to pull into or near us in the Caribbean. And you can see here as we work our way deeper into next week, this area could be developing as it approaches us. At the least, we'll be seeing an increased chance of rain. So we have a lot to track in the next few videos as far as what's coming next down the road. And then watching this spot up here, of course, this is what is Erin, but watching these areas, and these areas, long-term prospects, really hard to tell at this point. Do they make a curve like Erin did? Do they shoot into the Caribbean? That'll be a wait and see, right? That's what we're fine-tuning together over the next couple of days. Now, here's the wind field, and again, it's not even picking up on how strong it is now. The modeling is a bit off, but just to give you an overall feel of what we're seeing as it expands, it is going to grow bigger. It's already strengthened. That was the first thing. And then as it starts to make its curve, it's going to be a really wide system, and that's why we should get some impacts in Bermuda as far as exactly what. That is still to be determined. This here is by Wednesday. The scale on your screen, kilometers an hour and miles per hour. to keep everyone covered. And then we'll see it looks to be just, I'll show you this in a moment in the Atlantic region of Canada. I have another map to show you. But as of now, it looks to be just to the south and east, but it may kind of pivot back toward Newfoundland. So we'll watch out for that as we swing down the road. But you see that wind field, how it really expands. It's really feeding off of these warm water temperatures, very warm back through Jamaica, Cuba, over toward the Gulf. So those new tropical waves, by the way, if they work their way through the Caribbean into the Gulf, like this one, things can rapidly intensify, especially this time of year, really over the next few months. We're in the heart of hurricane season. Now you can see the swells here. Here's meters, feet on the right-hand side of your screen. And as this gets bigger, you see it really expanding out, and the swells will be moving in. So for the Bahamas, very, very dangerous seas, those swells working in dangerous rip currents, even some beach erosion, watching that over toward the Outer Banks in North Carolina. But we'll see what kind of happens here. But look at these heights. We're over 6 meters. We're talking over 30 feet because this is not only going to be wide, but it is already a very powerful system. So here it is. There's powerful Hurricane Erin, the core to the north, the rain bands that we talked about, right? I highlighted that earlier in the video. Elsewhere, spotty showers and storms will be around, kind of hit or miss in spots. If you get one, it could be strong. But Jamaica, Belize, for example, we're seeing Erin is way the heck over here. All eyes, though, next week for us in the Caribbean will be those two tropical waves that we'll be seeing how quickly they try to develop. Now, here is Erin again working its way back. I wanted to expand it out just a touch, show you what else is going on. Some heavier weather storms. Quebec, Ontario, over toward the Great Lakes, Wisconsin, over toward Chicago as we work our way into Illinois, watching out for some flooding, Rocky Mountains in the plains, New Mexico, back through Mexico, and then going out in time here, just expanding this out as we work our way into Monday. A couple showers could clip us by Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, where we desperately need it. But then you could see what happens here. According to the American model, most of the action, or if not all of it, from Hurricane Erin would just miss out on the Atlantic region of Canada, which I know we need the rain, but let's just say that's probably a good thing at this point just because of how strong it is, even with a weakening trend down the road. Looks to be a big wind maker. I was hoping it would be a weaker system that could move in and give us some rain. But as of now, we may not want this system anywhere near. Now, here are the Bahamas, watching out for the rain totals. Hit or miss with some spotty showers and storms around. I highlighted this area earlier. Again, Haiti, the DR, Cuba, Jamaica, this is not coming into our direction, right? We're dealing with some spotty showers and storms. This is where I was showing you some of those rain bands working in that will give us some spots of 100 millimeters of rain or 4 inches of rain. We were highlighting that earlier in the video. We swing to the south, Trinidad, Barbados, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, we just don't have a whole lot. We're mainly dry, just a couple passing showers. Same thing, Suriname, Guyana, Venezuela, better chance of getting some rain. Still watching out for some heavier pockets, Costa Rica, Panama, El Salvador, the rain chance has gone up just a bit. Then Mexico City back toward the west. Lifting up toward West Texas, better chance of rain. In extreme eastern Texas, East Texas, seeing that chance of some rain, scattered thunderstorms as we work our way back through parts of the southeast U.S. So storm chance about 50%. We had a couple stronger storms in spots for us in Jamaica yesterday, holding at a 30% chance in the Cayman Islands, 40% chance as we work our way through Trinidad and Tobago. We're looking at some passing showers possible. Trinidad, Barbados, St. Lucia, 30 to 40% chance of rain, 30% chance in Grenada, mainly dry the next few days, 30 to 40% chance St. Vincent in the Grenadines. Rain chance 40% in Martinique as we lift to the north. A little bit more. It may see some of those outer rain bands trying to clip us by in Dominica tomorrow. Guadeloupe as well, 40 to 50% chance, but we work our way back toward Antigua, Barbuda, really today through tonight. Some of those rain bands that will try to move by, but the worst weather staying to the north. Same thing, St. Kitts and Nevis and Montserrat. And as we work our way back toward Anguilla and St. Bart's, monitoring those rain bands today, we're doing that as well. St. Martin, Saba, and Statia. And as we swing back toward Puerto Rico, watching out for some of the gusty winds in some of those heavier rain bands with those downpours, we'll be monitoring. And we do that as well today into tonight, U.S. and British Virgin Islands. Rain chance about 30% in the Bahamas. All eyes still on Erin. Turks and Caicos, watching this very carefully. We're not in monitor mode, but you know I'm watching it, and we could see some of those outer rain bands working in as we get deeper into the weekend. Dominican Republic, we have about a 50 to 60% chance of scattered areas of rain and scattered about as well, especially tomorrow and again on Monday back through Haiti. Belize, rain chance stays relatively low, a 30% chance, and we're low. Aruba, Curacao, and Bonaire, 20, maybe 30% chance, could catch a shower overnight over toward Curacao. Guyana, the rain chance chance has dropped off. It's dropped off further as well in Suriname. Most of the action is up to the north this time of year. 30 to 40% chance of some pop-up storms in Cuba, 60% chance Costa Rica and Panama, and a 40 to 50% chance in Nicaragua, 30 to 40% chance as we work our way through Honduras. Rain chance scattered about Guatemala and El Salvador. A little bit more though El Salvador, that's where we have a better chance of rain. 50% chance in and around Mexico City, 40 to 50% chance Merida, Campeche, Cozumel and Cancun. Northern Colombia, 50% chance, 60% chance in northern Venezuela. And as we work our way back through Bermuda, watching a front nearby now, but all eyes on Erin. We are in monitor mode in Bermuda. So Erin, a powerful Category 4 hurricane, center staying to the north of the Caribbean, tracking those outer rain bands and closely monitoring those new tropical waves back behind it. So again, thank you for your trust. Got you covered right here. Welcome to all the new subscribers. Stay safe and have a good rest of your day.